Hey guys, welcome back to Hillside Forge. So if you're a beginner blacksmith and you're looking into getting into the craft, one of the things you're going to need is a good hammer, or at least one that's going to do the job or make your job easier. My solution to that is to take a $7 Harbor Freight hammer and turn it into a blacksmith rounding hammer. So this video is going to walk through that process and how I do it. It may not be for everybody, but this is what I found works for me. So let's get to it.
First, we're going to cut off the handle from the hammerhead. Then with our first heat, knock the remaining bit of ash and wood out of the hammer eye. Then we're going to stand the hammer up on end and then strike down on each face. This will cause the face to be wider by a process known as upsetting. We're going to do this for a couple more heats yet. Now that both sides of the hammer are equally upset, for the next heat we're going to pick the flat face and begin to work very gently just around the edge of the hammer to try and break those corners so they're not so harsh. Now we will work on the rounding side of the hammer. We're going to strike along the perimeter all around and then work our way close to center but not exactly on center. This is so we develop a nice slope and a nice rounded face. All the hammering and upsetting we did kind of smushed our eye hole, so we're going to take a drift and drift that back out to the right size. Now, just for some fun, we're going to take the ball peen hammer and add some texture to the face. Now, when it comes to quenching these Harbor Freight hammers, I've tried various mediums to quench it, but water seems to give the best hardness. Hammer steel is most often a low-carbon steel, which makes it safe for a water quench. However, there are some tool steels that are used to make hammers that require an air quench. I've tried that with these as well. Water just seems to work best. Now, to temper these, you can use a rail spike or any rounded piece of steel. Get that screaming hot and then put that in the eye of the hammer and then let that heat up the center so you have a nice soft center and then hard faces when you're forging. After all that, this is what you have, and theoretically you could just grind the faces and get to work with this, but I'm going to add some detailing with the grinder here. Take off some of the edges and just kind of smooth everything up. I use the slack on the belt to kind of sculpt the rounding part of the hammer, and then I use the flat platen to make the flat part flat. And then I roll the edges along the belt to try and cut off all the sharp corners. That way we don't have anything that digs into the steel when we're forging. Once I finish grinding, I'm going to go right over to the wire wheel and wire wheel all that forge scale off that could be on the face or cheeks yet. Alright, after all that grinding and wire wheeling, this is the face we have. Ain't she pretty? Alright, well, let's get a handle on this. So for the handle, we're actually going to use the handle that came with the hammer. They make these really long, so we can shorten them up just a little bit when we add the head and then make it far more comfortable to use in the hand. We'll start with grinding and putting a flat grind on both sides of the hammer to try and make it more rectangular than it is a fat egg-shaped oval that it is now. Once we have the more rectangular shape, we're going to break the corners and then keep those angles kind of sharp, not sharp like they're going to hurt your hand, but we're going to make it more like an octagon shape than anything. I use the slack of the belt to make the piece that goes into the hammer eye, and then I also use the slack to clean up all the sharp corners. And that all gives us something that looks like this. We're going to check and make sure the hammer fits, and then we're going to use a rubber mallet to drive the head onto the handle. Now, using a method that Old Hickory Forge showed in one of their videos, use a chisel to split the remaining that's still coming out of the eye of the hammer, so you can add your wedge in there. Once you have your wedge in, go ahead and then cut off the excess. And then we're also going to add a steel wedge to just kind of secure it even a little further. Now, as that one song once said, we're going to go ahead and paint this black, but not really paint it, we're going to burn it. Now that it's all charred up, we're going to take some oil and we're going to rub it into the handle nice and good, kind of seal it up and protect it. And then we're going to take the remaining oil still left on the towel and wipe over the hammerhead. I'll tell you what, she's a beaut, Clark. She's a beaut. This is a nice little hammer, a fun little project. The faces came out really nice on this, but we can't let the video go away without forging something, so let's get the fire hot and let's hammer something with this bad boy. It forges really well, but I want to go ahead and show you guys the hammerhead because I missed and hit the anvil itself, and there's no damage on the face whatsoever.
That's it for this video, guys. I appreciate you joining me as we turn this Harbor Freight hammer into a Harbor Grade hammer. I hope this video helps you and that you could use a hammer like this in your shop. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. I look forward to hearing from you guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Have a great night.
To do a dangerous thing with style is what I call art.